Hey Zaylee, you like the pumpkins?
I like my
Pumpkins.
pumpkins.
Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I've got kind of a fun day planned today. First, we're going to pick the pumpkins out of the pumpkin patch. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've learned from my first time growing pumpkins. And then we'll probably get the whole area cleaned up and till under the plants and get it prepped for next year. Second thing that's happening today is I have a new farm implement coming, and I'm using the term new very, very loosely because it's actually older than I am. And the third thing that's really exciting for me is I made 2 major deals for the channel this morning. Very, very exciting. These deals take a long time to come together. So it's crazy that I got 2 of them the same day. And both of these are things I've been working on for a while. And I'm not going to tell you what they are today, but it's going to be soon. I've got a ton of equipment that I'm happy with, and they get the work done around here. But for variety on the channel, I'd really like to show some new equipment every once in a while, and I'm going to be doing that. So if you look behind me, this is my pumpkin patch that really thrived and looked really nice for months. And then when the plants started to die off, I didn't know if I should immediately come out and cut the pumpkins off. So I've let it sit here. All the plants are dead and weeds are growing up through it. Okay, let's take a look at our inventory here. These are some nice sized pumpkins. They've got some spots on them. I don't know if those are just nicks or if those are from bugs. This side looks like that too. And we've got a lot of these bugs right here on the plants. So here's another example. This one's covered in bugs. I don't know if those have ruined the pumpkins or not. You can get a size reference off of this for how big the pumpkin is next to my hand. A lot of them are that size. I said I would talk about the things I learned my first year growing pumpkins. Number 1, they do need a lot of water. But the biggest thing actually is leave enough room between them that you can comfortably get your tractor tiller down it, assuming that you're someone like me who tills with the tractor. Because that's kind of part of the reason I've got so many weeds in mine. I left them spread out enough that I could get the tiller in between there, but I had a mechanical problem on my tractor right at the time I needed to do it. And then I ordered a walk-behind tiller, but it didn't show up until it was too late. Once they grow across each other, it's really hard to do anything about the weeds. But next year, I'm going to do this a lot bigger. I'm going to try to have a couple of giant pumpkins and then a patch like this. That's my intention. And I'm going to spread them out even more than I did this year. I'll put a link at the end of this video to the way I planted. And I thought what I did worked pretty well. Another thing I learned is as soon as the plants start to die, you probably want to go ahead and cut your pumpkins off, leave some green vine on it, and go store them somewhere cool if possible. These stems are all brown. People told me you want to cut them before the stems turn brown, but the way they are, I mean, they just pop right off. So we've got a really good yield here. I counted 28 pumpkins in the bucket right now, and I bet I can fill this bucket 3 or 4 more times. So by the end of the video, we'll get a full count. Paul's supposed to be here any minute, and we're gonna get the new attachment unloaded. Then we'll do a final tally on the pumpkin patch. Hopefully I can get this area all tilled up and clean tonight, and give you what little bit of information I've got on the new equipment.
This baler has 3 shear pins. The main one's on the flywheel. It's right here. That bolt is a shear pin. If you hit something hard with the plunger, like a hedge post, don't bale any hedge posts is the point of this talk. You'll need to change that. Now, I just found something. I've never changed that on this baler. I've had it 2 or 3 years. I've never had to change that shear pin. But somebody has. And they made this wrench just to fit that shear pin, because you had to have nuts on the inside of it.
Well, hot dog.
Yeah.
That'll do her.
It has a toolbox, but I cleaned all the good stuff out of it. It has that pin. It has a shear pin on this arm that's called gathering arm or something like that. Do you see it right up there? Shiny one.
Yeah, it's not very big. Large diameter.
Made to shear if it hits something.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is on your knotters, and it's right here. And when it shears, you're likely to shear that one, because a lot of the time what makes this one shear is something to do with these needles, and they'll be in the chamber, and it has a stop. This deal right here, you see this right here? This gets lifted up when the needles are back, and it has a stop up there in the chamber that stops the plunger from coming through when the needles are not back, and that will cause that one to shear. But like if that one shears for some reason and the needles get all the way back, it's not going to tie, and so you'll just be making one big long bale. And Baxter Black and one other comedian got together, and they were talking about running a square baler, and they said when things are good with the square baler, they're really good. When they're not, it's like following a cow that has diarrhea. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm intimidated by this thing because I don't know anything about it, but I guess there's only one way to learn is to go out there and do it.
It has 1 million grease fittings on it, and they will need greased. It has a counter. You've seen the counter.
Yep.
With the 2 little springs tied together in a knot. Yep.
Well, and I've seen firsthand that it works.
It has 1 gearbox right here. This is a check plug. They don't put those on new things. They actually replaced the check plug with dipsticks, and then now they don't even put those on.
So it works better with oil in that.
The way to tell it's got oil in it is if it's still leaking some.
Sounds right.
That's the perfect way to tell if it's got it in it. It's leaking.
I appreciate you laughing because I'm always afraid to laugh and find out that it wasn't a joke. There's a lot of engineers and scientists that watch these videos, and they tell us. So
I'm sure we'll hear about what's wrong.
I want to go ahead and tell them. So the engineers, this is our unloading ramp here. I was puzzled as what we were going to do, and he stuck a piece of wood there. Like, it's not always complicated. I said the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. That's life.
You're gonna need to let her down.
I don't know how this is gonna go, pushing that thing with the skid loader, which already steers weird enough. I'm wondering if I can turn it around and go backward up there till we get close. All right, I got the baler put in here, but before I do anything else with it, I need to get some hay loaded up for Paul. I got a couple bales of hay that he's gonna take home with him.
Okay, that was this old boy that liked to eat liver and onions. And he heard they were on special at his favorite cafe. He didn't want to go down there, so he calls the cafe and lines it up. And he got DoorDash to bring them to him. But when he got it, it was all onions. Because it had been delivered.
Ah, delivered onions. You know, it doesn't really matter what we're doing or why he's here, but anytime I catch up with Paul Case, I have a good time. And today we did some swapping, which is one of my favorite things. They all look different. They've all got their own little personalities. These are darker and lumpy. Do you think we'd grow this many pumpkins?
Yeah.
You knew it?
Which ones do you like? The big ones or the little ones?
I like the big ones.
Oh, be careful. Don't slam them down. You want them to break.
Yep, if you drop them too hard, they'll bust open and be a big mess.
It'll be a big mess, and you'll have one less tomato. One less pumpkin. One less potato and tomato. Put them on the bottom, sissy. Here, flip it over. I know you put it on its side. Nope, other way. Other way.
Yucky.
Yucky, it's just water and dirt.
I do it.
Yeah, it's just water.
Dirt never hurt anybody, did it? Hey, you guys want to say hi to YouTube?
Hi, YouTube.
You guys like the pumpkins?
Yeah.
How many do you think there are? Take a guess how many. Oh, we can't count them all.
You gotta
You're
guess.
supposed to guess.
How many would you guess? Oakland, how many would you guess?
She's not a guesser. She's going to count
Too
them.
many counting.
We'll tell you at the end. This is the last of the pumpkins, and there were 5 times as many as I thought there were. Kids and grandkids came over and helped. We've got them all picked up, and 90% of them were good. There were a few bad ones that are still out there that'll just get tilled in. We ended up having a whole bunch of family come over and just hang out, and they playing in the yard, and then our grown kids and the grandkids all took a bunch of pumpkins with them, and we didn't count them, but I guarantee there's well over 200 pumpkins here because the first bucket had 28 in it, and then I made at least 10 trips up here. Not all of them were quite that full, but I'm pretty sure there's 200 pumpkins. So, successful first growing season, I guess. It was fun. I'll probably do it again. Now, earlier I showed you the hay baler, and that is the same baler that I used in the video when I helped Paul bale hay. And, well, I really went over there just to see if I was interested in the baler. I wasn't really helping Paul. But we made a trade, and that's now my baler. And I'm kind of excited about the idea of baling my own hay, but I don't have a hay cutter or a hay rake yet. So, got to do some figuring out. I don't want to spend a bunch of money, but I need to come up with a couple pieces of equipment. Speaking of coming up with equipment, I feel so blessed to have all the equipment I have in this beautiful property. I try to bring that up all the time, just that I feel blessed. I don't feel like this feeling that I need more equipment. But as someone who makes videos for a living, it's a lot more interesting if I can continue to have variety and show different things. So I've got 2 deals that are locked in, that I'm going to have 2 new pieces of equipment on the property hopefully very soon, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm not going to tell you what they are, but then I've also got 2 more deals that are close. And so you might see a big change in the type of equipment that I'm using here on the property in the next couple months. So really excited about that. I wish I could tell you, but it's more fun if I wait till it's here. So I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.